if you guys want this level of definition and shine and just the most luscious curls in the world, follow this routine. Hi everybody, welcome to another week on my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Rachel Gore, and I post videos on vlogs, on beauty, on tech, and just random things that happen in my life and things that I enjoy. So talking about curly hair and curly hair products is one of them. I love figuring out the best way to take care of my hair, and one of those ways is by having a really consistent and good curly hair routine. This is my go-to everyday curly hair routine. I love it so much, and I've seen such a difference in my curls when I started doing this. And honestly, it's not that difficult. It's only like 3 or 4 products. I haven't posted much on my account about my curly hair routine, but I've gotten questions about it a lot in real life, so I thought that I would post this for you guys, and I hope that you guys enjoy this, and I hope that you will appreciate this beautiful routine, and you should really try this out for yourselves. So here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna start out, usually I start out with a cottonish t-shirt. I've got this one on because it's almost spooky season, but it's also a cotton shirt, which I think is the best when your hair is gonna be touching your shirt a lot during this process. So that's what I chose. But first of all, I'm gonna be taking off this little headband, and I always wet my hair, so I'm gonna just wet my hair with a bunch of water first. I love to use these spray bottles. You can get them on Amazon, but they're continuous spray water bottles, which is amazing. So like, see how long it sprays for me only pressing it one time? It's kind of crazy, but you can go over your hair like this. Sometimes my hair takes kind of a long time to get fully wet, but this is a cool alternative if you don't want to just dunk your head into a bunch of water and you just want to spray it, or like when you're done with your hair and you want to fix one particular curl. If it looks wonky, you can just focus on that one curl and then do as you please. It can also take you a long time to get your hair fully wet with a regular spray bottle, so I really like the continuous spray bottle because otherwise you'd be sitting here like spraying every single second, whereas with this you can kind of cover a lot of area just with a little bit of effort. So I personally like for my hair to be pretty wet but not dripping wet. I really like this just because if it's dripping wet, then it feels like it's a little bit too saturated with water and it's just uncomfortable. But if it's just wet enough, it just works for me, and I don't really see the need in having like dripping wet hair, and I just noticed that it styles better this way. So for my first step, I like to use a conditioner or a curl cream. I feel like this is always really important for hydration of your curls, and this is the first step where you kind of detangle everything, get all the knots out, and it makes your hair a lot more smooth and moisturized. So my current go-to is the CurlSmith Moisture Recipe Hold Me Softly Style Balm. It looks like this. I find it to be super moisturizing, and it just works really well in my hair, so this has just kind of become my go-to. And I got this at Ulta, by the way, if any of you are curious. I can put links down below for what I use. But I usually use about this much for my whole head, so not a ton, but enough to kind of coat my hands, and then I apply it like this from root to ends, but I don't tend to touch my scalp really. I just make sure that it gets to about here on my hair, if you can see that, and I just run my fingers through my hair until it's pretty coated in that moisturizer. And then what I tend to do is I'll take my hair and I'll split it in half. My natural part is about here. So I'll take my hair and divide it into 2 parts like this. And then I focus on one side at a time. I use a wide tooth comb, and I find that this gets tangles out pretty easily. So I'll go through all of my hair and just get out all the tangles that I can possibly get. You're probably not gonna get every single one, but obviously nobody wants knots in their hair to the point where, you know, it just looks like a tangled bird's nest. So I'm gonna detangle as much as I can, and then I will be back. One other thing that I wanted to note is that combing from bottom to the top of your head works the best for getting these tangles out. If you start at the top, you're just gonna run into knots and not be able to fully comb it easily. So I always start at the bottom and I just kind of grab the section I'm working on and then just get little kinks out as I go. Alright, one side is done. Losing my voice. One side is done, and now we're gonna go on to the next side. By this point too, sometimes this side is pretty dry. Like you can see these chunks up here that are a little bit tangled and dry. So I like to go in and just re-wet them. And then we're gonna go bottom to top again, just like I did on the left side. Okay, so now that both of these sides are done and combed out, I like to go in with the Blow Dry Thermal Smoother Cream by L'Oreal. And I know that I'm going to be diffusing later, so I just do this now to make sure that my hair is fully coated in this stuff. And I don't use a ton, just like a little dab. So like about that much. And I just smooth this through both sides of my hair just because I don't want to get heat damage, and I feel like that's something that causes a lot of frizz in curly hair and is somewhat preventable, so I like to try and prevent that as much as I can. So I'm just gonna go in with this stuff. I usually just rake it through my hair like I'm doing right now with my fingers, so kind of like picture your hand as like a rake and you just rake your hands through like this. So now what I like to do, let me get this big glob of hair off of my hand, is I wet my hair a little bit more. I know this might seem excessive, but you just don't want your hair to be super dry when you're doing any of this. I find where my middle part is, so this is kind of my natural part. It doesn't need to be perfect, but I like to just take a comb and make a part pretty much down the center of my head and then divide it like this and then just comb out the sides like this to make sure it's pretty much even. So now what I do is, this is the fun part because I feel like the combing is the tough part. This is the fun part where you get to go in, and I know I use a lot of conditioner, but I like to go in with another cream. So I use this one, the Umberto Giannini banana, I think it's called a banana butter. It looks like this for anybody who wants to try it out. So I use this stuff. It smells and looks exactly like those banana Laffy Tappies, which are my personal favorite. So I always like the smell of this. If you guys are not into banana, that's okay, but I love the smell of banana. But I take a little bit, just a little scoop, and then enough to coat my hands, rake it through my hair like usual, and just make sure that you kind of try to get everywhere. Again, doesn't need to be absolutely perfect, but just enough so that you're not missing any parts of your hair. And also don't coat your scalp. Again, like I said, just focus it more on kind of like this middle range to bottom part of your hair. Okay, so now that that's done, this is the part that makes your curls, I would say, the most amazing and the most just beautiful, curly, shiny, amazing, defined, all that stuff. So firstly, we're gonna take our hair and pull it in two. What I like to do for this part is, so I take a chunk about this big and I comb my hair out like this, pulling from the bottom upward and out. It allows this tension where when you curl the brush at the very end, like so, when you drop it, it just creates these absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous curls. Some people like to take these and shake them after doing that, and you can see these juicier curls kind of start to form. You can see it at the bottom. But trust me, when you do this, it will help so much. So I'm gonna do this to my entire head. Kind of think of it like curling your hair. Sometimes they're not gonna turn out as amazing, and you can redo them if you want to, but you just comb, like I said, comb them up, out, curve at the very end, and then drop. That's all. do something a little different for the front piece. I like to take the front piece like this, comb it back, like back and up, and then I usually, again, my hair's getting long, so I'm gonna have to bend down for this, but you pull it up and then you just curl the end like that and drop it. Just like that. Okay, so my hair is all done. I did all of those steps. And now what you want to do is go in with a mousse. I always use this one, the Shea Moisture Coconut and Hibiscus Frizz-Free Curl Mousse. And I find that this stuff just really helps my hair have an added bounce, and it really helps in addition to using a gel. So I shake this up and then I just use about like 3 or 4 pumps, so like that. And then I rub it together and then flip your hair to one side if you can and be very gentle with it. Take it and scrunch it into your hair like this. And I use it on the bottom of my hair, and then I also focus it on the roots. And do you hear that sound? That's how you know that your hair is well moisturized. So I'll take a little more, just maybe like 2 pumps this time. And I'll flip my head over. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see me, but I flip my head over like this, and then I take it and I focus it up toward my roots, like this. And don't squeeze too hard, just enough so that the product is actually getting into your hair and getting kind of mixed in with that conditioner. So that part's done, and now very lastly for products, I'm going to be using the most amazing gel in the world. This stuff made the biggest difference in my curl routine, for real. It's seriously, I cannot explain how much of a holy grail this product is. I struggled for a long time finding a gel that was really, really useful for my hair, added that shine, it gave me a lot of definition, but wasn't like overly crunchy when I scrunched it out, and would also provide just a good hold all day long, and is also made for the summertime when there's a lot of sun and a lot of heat on your hair. So this stuff is the Ouidad Advanced Climate Control Heat and Humidity Gel, and I'm going to use not a ton to start with. I usually kind of build it up, but I use about that much. If you can see that in any way, I know it's clear, but I'll rub my hands together, and then what you want to do is I lightly go over my hair like this first to coat the outside without pressing hard whatsoever. Just lightly drag your fingers across your hair, and then you want to scrunch it lightly, very lightly, and this is going to help with that definition and also getting that look out of your curls that you really want to have. So I'm going to add a little more, about the same amount I just used. And I'm going to do the same thing again, but with my head flipped over, so that I can focus a little bit more on the root area, so right here, just to make sure I'm getting everywhere. Scrunch and scrunch. But you want to do this while your hair is wet, otherwise it's going to get frizzy, so definitely don't do this when your hair is like getting drier. If it is getting drier, just add a little bit of moisture like I just did, like this, and then just scrunch again, so like this. So that's pretty much everything when it comes to the routine for products. But now what I'm going to do is I am going to use this towel that's amazing. I have a microfiber towel. Let me grab it. It is this towel. It's by the Curly Co. And I found this on Instagram actually, and it's done wonders for my hair just in helping the drying time. I take the microfiber towel like this, just kind of lay it out like a table. And then I'll go in and scrunch out a lot of that excess moisture like this. Just scrunch very, very lightly until a lot of that moisture from your hair is gone. And you can tell this by looking at the towel itself and seeing how much water is on there. And I noticed that this also kind of helps to define my curls even more too. And I think it's because you're lifting your curls up, squeezing them, and it kind of gives them that extra little bounce, which obviously you want in your curls. And you can already tell that that moisture is getting onto the towel, and that's time that I'm saving myself from having to dry my hair for a long time. Okay, so I'm done with that for now. I got out enough moisture, and now I'm gonna get into diffusing my hair. So I use the Dyson dryer. It's the Dyson Supersonic, and it has this diffuser attachment that's magnetic. Get yourself one of these if you can. They're a little bit expensive, a lot of it expensive, but it really does save you the time if you're able to afford it. I've noticed a big difference in my hair, and it also has technology that apparently doesn't give your hair as much heat damage, which is really important for curls. What I'm gonna do, I don't want you guys to have to hear the loud like air noises of the diffuser, but essentially what you're gonna do is I'll diffuse my roots first, so like the bottom of my head, and I usually do this on like high or medium-ish heat, and then I like to go in on a little bit of a lower heat and just go all around my hair, and then you'll kind of see me flip back and forth, and I'll do this side. I like to do it also where my head is entirely flipped over, and I do it that way just to make sure that I'm getting that root lift, because if you were to dry your hair like this, like flat to your head, your curls are not going to be lifting as much, and I like that voluminous look of your curls coming up and off of your scalp. So I'm going to diffuse my hair, and I will be back. Okay, it might not look it, but my hair is now about 80% dry, and I can tell because as I'm feeling on top of my hair, I'm feeling a little bit of a cast starting to form. So this is the part where I like to take the diffuser and I put my hair into the diffuser like this, and you'll scrunch upwards like this, and you'll dry your hair on a little bit of a lower heat setting, but you hold it there for about like 60 seconds each, and then this will help your curls just like suck up to your head and be extra bouncy and springy when your hair is completely dry. I have my door shut right now, and it's making my bathroom like extremely hot. So don't pass out when you do this. So now that I can tell that my curls are fully dry, I've put my hand on my hair and I can feel that cast and I don't feel any moisture. I like to take this Moroccan Oil. This is what the little bottle looks like, and I think it's just by the company called Moroccan Oil, but it's so nice. It adds so much shine to your hair. So I take the tiniest little, that was a little much, but I take a little drop like that, rub it into my hands, and then I'm just going to go in with my hands and scrunch out my hair. You're essentially looking to get that cast out of your hair so that your curls aren't hard and like crispy, if you know what I mean. And you can already see that oil starting to add so much shine to my hair and just making my curls look super defined, and just it minimizes so much frizz. And I can tell right now that there's still a little bit of my hair that's wet, so I'm gonna let the rest of it air dry, and I'll see you guys back when it's fully dry. Okay, so I'm back after a little bit of letting this dry some more, and look at how much definition I have. It is just absolutely crazy. Just look at that. Here it is from the side, and then I'll give you a little 360 action. And honestly, just kind of let the curls do what they want. I feel like that's half of having curly hair, is just like, you gotta just let it do its thing, and yeah. Anyways, I will see you guys next Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe. I think as of recording this, I'm at 78 subscribers, which is just crazy because I was at, I think, like 60 something in my last video, which is just nuts. I'm on my journey to 100 right now. I really want to get there by next month. We'll see if it's possible, but I would love it so much if you could take the time to just click that little button and show me some love. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!